Hello, everyone, and welcome to Daily English Dose. Today, I'm going to tell you an inspiring and touching story about Selena, who overcame her biggest internal barriers and maximized her potential. Have you ever felt like you have potential or passion in something, but you just can't seem to get started? Or perhaps you've held back from taking a step due to fear of criticism or making mistakes? This story will be a beacon of hope for anyone struggling with these very feelings. You'll see how it's possible to find your own voice, step out of your comfort zone, and progress step by step on this journey. Let's embark on Selena's transformation journey together. Our story is about a talented graphic designer named Selena, 28 years old. Everyone in the office admired her creativity. Her designs always received praise. Her mastery in using colors, the creativity in her illustrations, and her innovative ideas were the talk of the office. Her designs consistently received the highest marks, and clients absolutely loved them. However, Selena had a secret, as big as her talent, that no one knew. She was terrified of presenting her work, of expressing her ideas loudly in meetings, or even just saying hello. The mere thought of giving a public presentation would make her heart race, her hands tremble, and words would get stuck in her throat. It was as if an invisible hand was covering her mouth. This fear was the biggest obstacle to her career advancement. She had missed several promotion opportunities simply because of this. Even though her friends encouraged her, Selena knew deep down that this was more than just shyness. This was a paralyzing fear. Whenever it was her turn to speak, her mind would go completely blank, as if she suddenly forgot all words. One day, the company embarked on a major international project. This project was Selena's dream job, an opportunity to showcase her talent on a global stage. When forming the project team, the team leader, Mr. Carter, prioritized individuals who were not only talented, but also capable of expressing their ideas clearly and persuasively. He expected active participation from everyone. Fortunately, Selena was selected for the project team, but in the first big meeting, her worst fear came true. Despite her excellent work in the design phase, her hands and feet got tangled during the presentation. Words came out as incomprehensible mumbles. Her voice trembled, and the entire team had to lean forward to hear her. When the meeting ended, Mr. Carter called her into his office. Selena's heart was pounding. "Selena," Mr. Carter said kindly, "I have no doubt about your talent. Your designs and ideas are extraordinary. However, this project will cater to a global client base. You need to be able to present your ideas clearly, confidently, and persuasively. This is just the beginning. I expect a much clearer presentation from you at the next meeting. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you to continue on this project." These words echoed in Selena's mind. It felt like a terrible blow, but it also sounded an alarm bell. It was now or never. This was her last chance. Her career depended on this project. When she arrived home, she looked in the mirror. In her eyes, there was not only fear and disappointment, but also a new gleam of determination. "Enough is enough," she whispered to herself. She had to break this vicious cycle. That night, Selena couldn't sleep. Missed opportunities and moments of silence from the past swirled in her mind. But instead of complaining, she had to do something. She decided to confront her inner fear. She made a promise to herself. She would conquer this fear, no matter what. She started an intensive online search for her first step. She read hundreds of articles and watched inspiring TED Talks using keywords like overcome public speaking fear, self-confidence boosting techniques, and presentation skills. Online speaking clubs, personal development books, and even virtual reality-based speaking simulators caught her attention. An action plan began to form in her mind. The next morning, Selena set a small but significant goal for herself. Every morning, She would stand in front of the mirror and practice speaking loudly and confidently for 5 minutes. It was very difficult at first. Her voice trembled and her face turned crimson. Even listening to her own voice was embarrassing. Sometimes she felt like giving up, thinking, I can't do this. But then Mr. Carter's words came to mind, and she challenged her reflection in the mirror. She didn't give up. A week later, she gathered her courage and enrolled in an online public speaking course. In her first online class, even though her camera was off, her hands and feet got tangled, and she spoke with great difficulty. Even introducing herself took minutes. The instructor listened to her kindly and simply said, Thank you, Selena. Keep going. Even this simple encouragement was a ray of hope for Selena. Selena increased her home practice. She not only read text but also listened to her favorite podcasts and began to imitate the speaker's intonation, emphasis, and rhythm using the shadowing technique. She paid special attention to pronunciation and cadence, working as if she were learning a new language. She also took small steps in her social circle. She tried to take more initiative when talking with friends and began to voice even small ideas in meetings. Every small step forward gave her new motivation. She learned from her mistakes, telling herself, I don't have to be perfect. I just have to try. Every time she stumbled, she repeated internally, This is a learning opportunity. Every challenge she faced in this process made her stronger. Weeks turned into months. Selena's voice was now louder, her words more fluent. Her presentations in the online course were getting better day by day. In a virtual presentation, she received comments like amazing progress from her classmates. Most importantly, her reflection in the mirror had changed. She was now more confident. When the next big company meeting arrived, Selena was ready. It was her turn to present the new phase of the project to international clients. Her heart was still beating slightly, but this time there was no trembling or words getting stuck in her throat. She stepped up to the microphone. She took a deep breath and began to speak. Her voice carried every word clearly and confidently to every corner of the room. She presented her ideas so clearly, with such passion, that the entire room fell silent. Everyone listened attentively. When the presentation ended, there was a long and enthusiastic round of applause in the room. Mr. Carter turned to her and smiled proudly, nodding his head in approval. At that moment, the silent wall inside Selena was completely broken down. She was no longer just a talented designer, but also a confident leader who could bravely express her ideas. A new chapter had opened in her career. This was not just a promotion or a project success. This was a transformation that Selena achieved by overcoming her inner barrier, a triumph of discovering her own potential. Selena's story shows us that our biggest obstacles are often those we create in our own minds. Although it appears to be a fear of public speaking, this story is actually a metaphor for overcoming any kind of personal barrier. By starting with small, consistent steps, embracing our mistakes, and practicing continuously, we can push our limits and create incredible changes. Perhaps you also have an obstacle you want to overcome, just like Selena. Maybe you want to learn a language, pick up a new hobby, or advance in your career. So, what will be your first step? Gather your courage and take that first step. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment below. I'd really love to hear what you think. Remember, consistent listening, confident speaking,